Dominic Williams chooses Oklahoma over Texas, Missouri, and LSU, and I'm sure a lot of others that wanted him as well. Ted, this feels like a massive win for Brent Venables, for Todd Bates, for this football team, for a multitude of reasons. Just how big of a deal do you think this is, man?
Well, I think it can be huge. Now, I'm curious to see, how, because he's going to be playing in a different system, coming from that 3-3-5 where basically two gapping, right? Just kind of holding point on the line of scrimmage. Um, I think we'll probably do some of that front, but BV is going to be multiple 4-man front, bear front. You know, we blitz a lot. We stunt the front a lot. So it's going to be way more of an aggressive attack style defense than what he was in previously. So it's hard to really know, like when you really turn him loose, what to expect. But with how strong he is, how he plays at the point of attack, it's going to make our defense so much better from that point back. I mean, Stutzman, the inside backers should be able to run around a little bit more. Pass rush should, get a benefit. The guys on the edge, like he's a guy that's going to draw some protection. He's going to draw double teams. That means other guys are going to be drawing those 1-on-1s and should be able to become more efficient pass rushers. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, there should be kind of a trickle down effect for all the different things that he should be able to do right there in the middle of the defense.
I think he instantly walks into the room and is the best D lineman we have. And that's no disrespect to any of the guys, especially the young guys like Jaden Jackson and David Stone. I think both of those guys are going to be really, really good players. But really, that's what we're talking about here is he walks in and is instantly the best interior defensive lineman and best defensive lineman across the board, period, that this team has. And I'm really interested to see what Brent Venables can pull out of him because it's going to be more challenging for him mentally. They're going to put more on his plate, but I also think more of attacking style of defense is going to suit him well. I mean,
I
it's
think
not
so.
like he's a big, just space eating type of guy. No, he's got some twitch to him, Ted. We've seen it on
Explosive.
tape.
Yeah. Yeah, he's an explosive player and he's not he's 320 pounds, but he doesn't look like it when he's walking around. He carries it really well and he moves well. He's got great quickness, explosiveness. I mean, yeah, I think I I think he's going to be held to block in a cocked nose or if he ends up as a three technique, depending on how they set the front and stuff. Um, it's a game changer. I mean, is really the only way to look at it. He's, walks in and is the best defensive tackle we have, probably by some margin. And I I believe that having someone like that into that room now is going to raise the level of everybody else.
It, I think that's definitely the hope. If you are Grayson Halton, Dejon Terry, Devon Sears, like David Stone and Jaden Jackson, I think they're gonna be major factors when it comes to their time at Oklahoma. But some of these old guys, yeah, you have to raise your level of play.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, because he's instantly now you got to go out there and earn it on the practice field, but the expectation is for him to come in and start right away.
yeah. Oh yeah. I totally agree with that.
But guys
You
like
know,
Ashton Sanders, Marcus Strong, if they want to get on the field, you
yeah.
better get bigger and stronger this summer, and you better come ready to practice when training camp rolls around.
Yep.
Got to
And
improve.
the other part of that is obviously, it's the better your defensive line gets, the better your offensive line is going to be prepared, right? Because there's going to be a lot of training camp battles and stuff. So to me, like this move puts us in a really interesting spot because now you've got game changers at all three levels. And we knew we were going to have it with Stutzman. We knew we were going to have it with Bowman. You know, we had some potential there on the defensive line, but this move, now you've got legitimate big time threats at all three levels. And it's just like, I thought originally we were going to have a really good defense this year. I think this move could, I mean, depending how everything works out, I mean, this could make you truly one of the best defenses in the country if we get what we hope out of him.
I'm expecting a lot out of him.
Yeah.
And this is something I was thinking about, Ted. OU hasn't had, when you're game planning and you get the game plan for the other team, and the other team has their, what a lot of coaches call red dot guys. All the really good players have a red dot next to them. Say, hey, this is a guy we have to account for. We have to know where he's at. He's that type of guy. OU hasn't had that type of defensive tackle in a while. Perion Winfrey was kind of one of those guys at times, but never really had the consistency. Maybe Neville Gallimore, but
I'd say Ronnie Perkins was, but he wasn't an interior guy, was he?
No, I just think, are we going all the way back to 2015 when Jordan Phillips was healthy?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how long it's been. And my expectation is for Damonic Williams to be that type of guy.
I agree.
Where you turn the tape on and you go, this guy's a problem. So that is like, my expectations for this guy are about as high as they can be.
Yeah, and I'm curious, like what they do to try and accentuate some of his talents. Is he going to play nose? Is he going to be, head up, zero, like legit bear front? You're going to put him in a cocked nose there. I think I would try and see how he is at three technique personally, but I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to have some ideas, and maybe they move him around quite a bit. Like he could be a matchup guy. If there's a weakness on an offensive line you want to try and exploit on the interior, or maybe you play with that front a little bit. But thing is like you don't move him off the ball. He's so incredibly strong and has such a low center of gravity. It's going to be really difficult to move him off the ball. This is going to make the backers at the next level so much better.
Is this the biggest recruiting win for Brent Venables? And it's, I know that the portal, it feels a little different than high school recruiting for whatever reason. Maybe it's the NIL piece of things that make it feel a little different. I'm not sure. But clearly getting Jackson Arnold was a big deal. But with where we're headed and just how much of a position of need defensive tackle was, I think this is Brent Venables' biggest recruiting win of his tenure at Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think it is. Like considering the situation, considering who you're up against, all of that. Yeah, I think it is for sure. Because we've been used to situations like this where, man, it looks like if it's going to come down to money, we're going to win everything else, but it's going to, the dollar figure is going to be too much, and we're going to watch a really good player go elsewhere. And it kind of felt like a put everyone on notice a little bit type of situation. by landing this type of big time defensive tackle. So yeah, I think it was great. And you know, the other thing is like I don't know how many more opportunities like this that you're going to get because I just don't know what rules are going to be passed down. Like we could be living in a totally different place 6 months from now, right? And so when you had the opportunity, you had to go out and make something happen because you can't waste your first year in the SEC. You have to make an impression. If you go in and have a ho hum year, you won't have any momentum. And this sport in recruiting is all about momentum. You've got to have people talking about you. And I think this helps with that a lot.
I I think it was a really tough time for the OU is broke people.
All right.
They did not have fun when Dominic Williams made the decision that he made. But yeah, it was the talk of college football. It was the talk of college football when he made that decision. So we'll see what it ends up looking like in the fall. But clearly, NIL played a large role in this. And we've talked about how organized and how professional that operation feels right now with the collective working to the degree that they can work with the staff, doing all those things and kind of developing a plan and a structure for everything they're doing. I think that continues to impress people. I know it impressed Dominic Williams and his team, but I liked what Dominic Williams tweeted, man, because clearly it was a big factor in this. But here's what he said: chose OU because of relationship with Coach V, Coach Bates, and the staff. They were genuine, and I believe in their ability to develop me as a man and a player and prepare me for the next level. I know that this whole thing is about winning games, but it brings a smile to my face every single time I hear one of these kids talk about how excited they are to be developed as a person by this staff because
Yeah,
I still think that stuff matters. I
I
know
do
it's
too.
about I know it's about becoming the best football player you can be and going and making a bunch of money in the NFL, but I'm never going to get tired of these recruits, these transfers saying stuff like that, Ted. It warms my heart, man.
Creating value. You have to continue to create value. Number one, it's the right thing to do, right? Whenever kids are coming in, they're going to school here. Not everyone's going to the NFL, so you've got to set your football players up for success after football. It's the right thing to do, and they're doing it. I don't know how everywhere else does it, and I'm sure that plenty of places put a lot of resources into it, but I feel like you'd be hard pressed to find someone that is doing more in that regard than Oklahoma right now. And that value, if it's not paying off now, there will be a time where it does. When all this kind of gets sorted out in the future and the rules are a little bit more clarified and the guardrails are in, well, then I don't think the flat out money is going to, the money's still going to be there, but I think it's going to swing back to how are you creating value for these kids outside of just what the NIL contract is, and I think we're going to have a jump start on everyone.
I'm also just really excited to see how good he is at football now.
I know,
I
I know it.
it it changes the expectations of the defense for me. Now,
Yep.
clearly, you got to stay healthy. That's always the most important part. But what I believe was a glaring weakness in the middle of the defense has been addressed in a major way.
Yeah, you went from weakness to strength of your defense.
He may be the best player on your defense.
Yeah, we'll see.
And
Yeah,
that is no shot at Billy Bowman. It's no shot at Danny Stutzman. Those guys are tremendous football players. But this is a guy that's been playing in a 3-3-5 head up nose frog stance that's about to get to put a little stagger in his stance and come off the ball some.
yep.
And I think it's going to look great. I'll be surprised if it doesn't.
It's going to be. I I would be shocked if when he's fresh and starting series. I would be shocked if he's not caving that side of the offensive line in wherever he is. It's a good feeling, isn't it?
Makes me happy. I wonder if Branson Hickman was like, damn it.
Oh man, I know that's practice just changed over the training camp.
Iron sharpens iron, baby.
Yep.
It'll be good for them both. Anything else? BV looked awful in that number 52 jersey. But the look on his face, the jersey, everything about that picture, I was cracking up.
Yeah. It is, just to go back with what you said though. I mean, from what we thought, like after the first couple of days of spring ball, and um and what we had at defensive line, not knowing really what we were going to get out of Jaden Jackson and David Stone, Everett getting hurt at center, like there wasn't a very good feeling at up there with the line of scrimmage. Now, where you are post spring and what you've got now at center and what you've got at nose guard or at defensive line on the other side, like we're in a much better position on the line of scrimmage.
Fan base is confident, feeling good. I love it. We're back, baby.